So before I leave you, I'm just going to give you a few brief do's and don'ts just to bear in mind when you're starting off with your account, and to create a really good firm basis, and to carry on with these kind of best practices is going to stand you in good stead to creating a very kind of valuable account for you and for your customers, which will actually eventually convert and start to make you sales with real people. So first thing to do is just to remember that you're dealing with real people. It's really easy to lose sight of this when you sat behind a computer screen in any respect, but it's really important to remember at all times that on the other end of your interaction is one person staring at a small screen in the palm of their hand, or on a laptop screen right in front of them. So it's a very personal thing, and to make sure that you're getting your communication right to them is really important. This is something which we go into a lot more detail on one of my other courses, which I'm going to tell you about in the next video, which is to sort of develop a real customer in your mind that you can direct all of your marketing communications to on a very personal level, and really start to build a proper relationship instead of just throwing photos up and hoping people that like them. So tying into that really closely is that to interact with people on a genuine level. So your interaction with people in your mind should be as if they're sat on the opposite side of a table and you're talking to them over dinner almost. So it's again, this ties into remembering that you're dealing with real people. But to interact with people on a genuine level, you don't have to be a billboard brand on Instagram. You're a small brand. You're very dynamic. And you can be personal with people. You can speak your mind. You can be who you want to be. You can be bold, and it's really important to do that to actually stand out. So to interact with people on a genuine level, rather than just kind of being a company that's broadcasting out messages blindly, is a really important way of your social dynamic on Instagram. So another do is to go around and comment and like and regram other people's content. So to get their attention, the best way to do that is to big them up, is to tell them that you like their content, to comment, to like, to share. That's the sort of thing that's going to build a real relationship. If you think about building a real relationship in real life, you do that by going over and talking to people and complimenting them and talking to them about common interests that you have. So you wouldn't walk over to someone at a party and start telling them about yourself and bigging yourself up and showing them all your pictures before you'd even heard a word come out of their mouth. So the best way to start to build a relationship is to go and talk to other people, to interact with them, to compliment them on what you see, and then to start to find similarities between yourself and them. And then a final do, a really big important one, is to start to build real relationships with potential JV partners. So this is other high influence accounts. And then again, you're going to do this in a similar level, but you're going to want to start to build a real interaction, a genuine appreciation, and start to draw similarities and find potential talking points that you can then build into a relationship, which is going to save you a lot of money and potentially give you a lot more reach in the future. So the primary don'ts are not to spam your wall with advert type posts, so offers all the time, photos of your product, which is just basically incentives to sell, incentives to push people to sell. So that's going to really break the communication from being a conversation in which you're building a relationship and turning it into something quite pushy and something quite off-putting. So it's really important not to spam your account with offers. Every now and again, one in every 20-30 posts, you could potentially put a soft offer. But again, just bear in mind that the purpose of Instagram is for lead generation, for lead nurturing, and when people are comfortable, that they're more than capable of finding your account either through the link that you've given them or through a quick Google. So long as you've got a much better chance if you build up enough interest and enough vibrancy in the idea of your brand that somebody goes off to Google them yourself, then there's much more power in that than just a potential click through because they've been instructed to do so. Another don't, which is something which happens all the time, which I'm sure you've seen, is to go around and tag irrelevant people into photos which has got nothing to do with them in an attempt to draw their attention. So as we discussed just now, so to draw people's attention is done by complimenting them, by talking about themselves, by finding similarities between yourself. To tag somebody in your own photos, in your own work, is just going to be spammy. I'm sure this has happened to you in the past when you get tagged in by people by 10,000 followers on Instagram, and it's of no interest to anyone really apart from kids who want to build up their accounts. So this is something to really avoid doing. So to summarize that, be good, be sociable, talk to people on a real level, and don't spam people.